Hello, everyone, and welcome to EduMatch Tweet and Talk number 11. Please follow along with us on Google Plus at bit.ly/tweet talk 11, as well as on Twitter with our hashtag EduMatch. So check us out on the web at edumatch.education if you want to be our featured person of the day. You just fill out the Google form there and give us some information about you, and then we tweet it out over the course of 24 hours, and it's just really, really cool. So tonight's topic is all about collaboration, the reason that we are here. So without any further ado, I'd like to turn it over to our moderator for tonight. So Shana, here you go.
Hey guys, welcome. This is a topic I proposed to Sarah just because I see collaboration as something that is kind of hit or miss in certain schools. It sometimes can be hit or miss on Twitter, other social media platforms, and so I want to kind of address some of the issues and get some feedback from some other people. So first I'd like for everybody that's here as our panelists to introduce themselves. I'll just start with Ann, and then you guys can work your way down. Let us know your name, where you're from, and what you do.
Hi, my name is Ann Manalo. I'm a special education teacher at Richmond Hill High School in Richmond Hill, Georgia, and I'm just happy to be here. My Twitter handle is Educator Ann, as one word. It's nice to be here. Thanks.
All right, Jennifer, you're next.
Hi everyone, my name is Jennifer Casa-Todd. I'm a literacy consultant and I lead learning with technology at the York Catholic District School Board, and that's in just north of Toronto in Ontario, Canada.
Awesome, glad to have you here. Leslie, you're up next.
Hi, I'm Leslie Fagin. I am an instructional technology coach with the Griffin-Spalding County School System in Griffin, Georgia. Happy to be here with you all to talk about collaboration.
Awesome. Sarah, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. Sarah here from the DC metro area. I am a brand spanking new high school technology teacher after 11 years being in the K-8 world, so very happy to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, I wanted you to introduce yourself since you have a new gig. Mr. Hughes from way down in Rio de Janeiro, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, hi everybody. As Shana just said, I'm based in Rio de Janeiro. Stephan Hughes is my name, and I work in higher ed right now, and also teacher training, teacher development for language teachers who teach English as a foreign language.
Awesome. And last but not least, Ms. Valerie Lewis.
Hi, my name is Valerie Lewis, and I am in Gwinnett County, Georgia, high school language arts teacher of 10th and 11th grades, special education teacher, and I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Glad to have you all. I'm glad to have a lot of Georgia folks here representing for the South. Whoop, whoop. Sorry, Sarah. And sorry, Jennifer, y'all at North folks, us South folks, hold it down. All right, first question is, what are some components you guys have for really functional, awesome collaborative experiences in an educational setting? So, Ann, I'll start with you.
It was very hard to just reinvent the wheel here, so I am also a member of the Council for Exceptional Children, and I found a really good resource. And for the purposes of this chat, I'm referring collaboration to Lynn Cook and Marilyn Friend's meaning of collaboration, and which means where there's at least two working together with making shared decisions. And I really liked Friend and Cook's 2007 components. Like I said, again, you don't have to reinvent the wheel here. I'm sure you'll find many other scholarly journals out there, but I thought it was really essential thing is both of them were first and foremost is your personal belief system, and that's really key. People. Next is effective communication skills. We all know pretty much what that means. And the third one I really liked was the interaction processes of effective collaboration according to Cook and Friend. And one of the things is problem solving. So across many groups, not just co-teach classroom, but working with parents as well as colleagues, with admin. It could go across. So I really thoroughly enjoyed that. I'm sure other people have other ideas as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I think communication, personality, all that kind of stuff is essential to collaboration. You have to have some type of commonality, whether it be you're here for the kids, maybe your content area, whatever the case may be. Jennifer, anything else to add as far as things that are essential to have positive collaboration in an educational setting?
That was really well said, and the only thing I would add is that whether it's face-to-face or virtual, I think there needs to be a listening component to it and an empathy. So it really had to be collaborative to me. It has to be that give and take, that true, where are you coming from, what is this a great idea, rather than sort of developing what your idea is even before the person has finished talking. That would be the only thing I would add.
I completely agree. I think the listening piece is sometimes missing in the communication piece for any field outside of education, inside of education. So that listening part was key that you mentioned. Number two, I wanted to kind of talk about what do you guys think are some of the hindrances to collaboration? What things kind of hinder or speed bumps, kind of bumps in the road? And I'll let Stephan go first.
Yeah. Cami? Can you hear me? Yeah, cool. So hindrances, I think we start with the teachers themselves. I think I've kind of beating that drum, especially when I talk with teachers here, because it seems sometimes teachers don't like to collaborate, especially across disciplines, across subjects. I've had experience of trying to work with geography teachers, science teachers, since I work with English as a foreign language, and you have opportunities to collaborate, people out of Brazil. And I've proposed this to other teachers, let's get together, let's do a kind of a project that would include English, science, geography, art, music, you name it. And people just kind of they kind of nodded their head, but nothing came out of it after that. So I think one of the big hindrances actually is the difficulties teachers put up to it, or they see it's too much work, they don't think they're getting paid for that. And then the administration sometimes also put the kind of limits that, or things that you have to follow a certain standard, and they don't allow for that kind of creativity there. So those are two main hindrances I would put as on the table right now.
And I completely agree with both of them. For me, coming from healthy, I've noticed that a lot of teachers can be cliquish, which is surprising to see in the education field. People want to group themselves based on their content area. Oh, I have a doctorate, I teach gifted kids, instead of just saying, hey, I might be able to learn something from you. And it wasn't until I kind of broke down those barriers at my school that teachers were like, oh, wow, you actually do stuff in your health and PE class that's engaging and the kids are about it. Then they were really willing to collaborate with me. So, Leslie, do you know of any other hindrances, or can you think of any others that probably hinder collaboration in schools?
I think that when teachers aren't given enough time to collaborate with one another, that sometimes is an issue. We work all day and we may or may not have a planning period, but yet we're expected to make things work with people not in our content area, or for that matter, in our content area. So time is a big factor. And also, like you mentioned, we're not willing to put our pride aside. I think that I'm incredibly smart, but I don't know everything. So if I'm not willing to listen to somebody else and say there's something that I can learn, my students are going to take a hit, and they're not going to benefit in the long run. So time and putting your pride aside, those are big hindrances as far as collaboration is concerned.
Awesome. Leslie, you had something else to add? Or Jennifer, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say I really agree with you, Leslie, and I think that it comes down to leadership too. So you talk about the time factor, but if there's an administrator who really values a collaboration, then he would allow for teachers to have the same time off. Or so some of the hindrances are sometimes when leadership, to me, doesn't value collaboration or doesn't believe in the benefits of it, and therefore contributes to that same story, like the lack of time and all of that sort of thing, if that makes sense.
It definitely does. I guess to kind of piggyback off of both what you, Jennifer, and Leslie mentioned, the third question is kind of how does this collaboration or lack thereof affect our students? How can this inability to collaborate, or when we have great collaboration, how does that directly affect our students? And I'll throw that to Valerie first.
All right. I will say just yesterday I attended a planning meeting for the National Conference of Teachers of English, and one of the gentlemen in attendance as well mentioned how he's a social studies teacher and he was going through the Renaissance period and he wanted to collaborate to get some art pieces and artwork into the lesson. So he went to the art teacher at his school, and she was kind of hands off and almost even appalled that he was coming to her to ask her if she had anything that was related to the Renaissance topic to teach the kids about art. So when you think about that, where she might have thought, don't you bother me, she failed to realize that she was affecting a whole classroom or classrooms of students that could have had a rich experience. And so to speak to that, we have to remove self, and we have to always remember that our jobs are about the students. It's student-centered, regardless of our agendas, because we all have them. It is always about the students. So without that collaboration piece, the kids, you know, they miss out. And it's more than just cooperating, because there is a difference as well. You don't want to just go with the flow and it's not something that you don't believe in, but you truly want to collaborate versus just cooperate.
Awesome. And like you said, it all goes back to, are we doing this for the students, and is this beneficial for the students? Because that's ultimately why we are in the educational field, or what we should be. And then the last question I'm going to propose, or send to Sarah, because you're going to a new environment. How do you kind of bring together collaboration? How do you, as a connected, you're a super connected educator, how are you going to bring that kind of camaraderie and collaboration to your new environment? Or how can you encourage somebody to maybe bring some more collaboration to the environments?
Well, I have to say in this case that I am extremely fortunate. I was very surprised to find when I got to my new school that my team is like connected already. So I'm just like, yes, this is just so amazing. So right now, you know, I was used to kind of being the connector of people, but now I'm kind of trying to figure out where exactly my role is, you know, kind of changing hats in a way, and I'm loving it. Just looking forward to building and continuing to collaborate with my team. I'm learning so much from them. They are phenomenal. So that's pretty much where I stand right now.
Awesome. I think it also kind of piggybacks off what Leslie mentioned before about pride. I think when you go into a new environment or when you're collaborating, you have to realize that it's not about you. It's about what you can bring to the group. And what you bring to the group is different than Sally Sue, the teacher who teaches this, Betty who teaches this, Bob who teaches that. I think a lot of times teachers cannot push aside pride, which is unfortunate. That kind of, to me, is the biggest hindrance with collaboration, like Leslie mentioned. But I think being able to go to a new environment and collaborate is like huge. So that's awesome. Anybody else want to give suggestions on how we can improve collaboration in our own buildings or situations?
Well, I feel like I'm talking nonstop, but here I go again. I really think it's important, as Sarah does, and so many of us do, to model it and celebrate it, because I think that enthusiasm really catches, and I think rather than sort of being negative about the people not connecting, when they start to hear our stories, they get excited by that. And I think that's really important. And I also think we have to recognize that people are different stages. So where I might be, because I joined Twitter 5 years ago, is very different from where a new teacher might be. And I think we just have to be cognizant of that and celebrate all the baby steps.
And that comes in back to your piece before, Jennifer, about listening. If we're listening, we're able to take where people are and kind of help them move forward in a positive direction. Anybody else have anything else to share about collaboration?
I'd like to say one more thing. This is the beginning of a new school year. There are a lot of new teachers who have joined our ranks, And to help encourage them, if we reach out and collaborate with them, I think that may cut down on some of the frustration that new teachers feel because they're already overwhelmed with a new job, new responsibilities. So if we share with them some of the things that we're doing and also listen to them because they have a fresher perspective than we do. So that would be something beneficial to us as veteran teachers and as the new teachers. They can work with us and we can work with them. Everybody wins in the end.
I'll add to that and just also say that we're all learners at the end of the day. And so despite the fact of the content that we may be teaching, language arts, math, social studies, a well-rounded teacher wants to know a little bit about everything. We know that we can't be experts in all content, so who better to learn from than our colleagues that may be well-versed in those other areas. So not only are we focusing on the students as learners, but we must always remember that we are also lifelong learners as well.
Yeah, just to kind of round off what Vinny has touching on a bit of the points that has been raised, what Leslie said, what Jennifer also said. I think if we give, as we think that the whole thing about listening to the teachers when they come in, the new teachers, if we showcase all of the teachers. The teachers get a chance to showcase their talents, showcase what they can do, even if they are newbies, older, seasoned teachers, if they feel that they can actually share something. Because I think more and more, if we get people to think, yes, I can share something, that what I have is unique, my experience is unique, and it adds to that. And it touches on what Anne talks about, problem solving, collaborative problem solving. Because when we have collaborative problem solving, everybody has something different to bring to the table. So if that is made, we foster that more and more, then collaboration becomes easy because we know that, what I have is a little different from what Anne or Jennifer or Leslie or Valerie or Sarah or Shana, anybody else has here. So we are able to, make that become a part of our culture. That's what I wanted to add.
Great. Such a great discussion today. So I wanted to thank everyone who's on the panel, as well as everyone who is participating in our Twitter chat. And a huge, huge shout out to Shana for moderating and doing such a bang-up job. So great job, Shana. And just thank you all so much for tuning in. The Twitter chat will be storified, and this Google Hangout will be available as an iTunes podcast. So come back next week for Tweet Talk number 12, bit.ly/Tweet Talk 12, and we have another great topic for you about adjusting to a new role, which was also proposed by Shana. So thank you, Shana, for the great ideas. So anyone can be a panelist. Just sign up at bit.ly/Tweet Talk 12. So we hope to see you there. And remember to subscribe if you're interested to our podcast at bit.ly/EduMatch podcast. So everyone have a fantastic weekend and a fantastic week. See you next week, same bad time, same bad channel. All right, bye everybody.
Bye.